revolutionary things. So technologies in foreign nations that have been used are things like heat map features which show where populations are gathering. In-game rewards can be offered to people to take different routes, things like that. Traffic data can be manipulated to prevent people gathering and protesting, as has happened in some of the authoritarian regimes across the world recently. So what we're looking at is not only a set of technologies which make people behave as ideal consumers, but ones which actually can be put to use to prevent radical and disruptive behaviour in the city, which limits the power of any kind of revolutionary force.
So, if you thought you had a private life, get used to it. You don't. And we're not going to reclaim our lives without a fight. I'm Tash, and you've been listening to Bucket, keeping the resistance informed. Keep listening, keep fighting, and remember, nobody owns you but you.
Drone, initiate search.
It's recipes I learn at home. Recipes I cook at home. Recipes that make Salt Cray a home to everyone. Salt Cray, Caribbean food, the Caribbean way. Cryptocurrency accepted.
If you're feeling out of your depth or like you could use a breather, you can always call on your new teammates to step in. It's your call.
That's the advantage of working together, instead of alone.
Yo, man's live on the scene.
In theory, the AR reconstruction should allow me to use various sources of surveillance data to rebuild past events. Access a data relay, and I can scrape all the metadata for this area.
But don't worry, we're not going to say anything bad about a massive, unaccountable spy organization who uses its powers to stifle dissent and shut down free speech. Instead, we're going to look at how SIRS became so powerful. As usual, we'll keep everyone's names and locations secret.
You're driving me!
England was a veteran political writer and broadcaster back in the days of free writing editing.
Is the world we're living in now fascist? Well, this is what fascism is. It is the complete and total control of the individual. The desire to basically say to the individual, nothing in your life matters. On an individual basis, you are now part of the whole. Part of the nation. And the only meaning that you will find in your life is to become part of the nation. What is a nation? A nation doesn't mean anything, right? The nation is basically just encapsulated by the leader that takes over, that claims that he, has this sort of access to the soul of the country, to the soul of the people. He never does, it's just a myth. But that's what they go for. And on that basis, they take the right to control every aspect of your life, from who you talk to where you eat, to where you go to hang out with your friends. And what we're seeing now is a contemporary iteration of this process where you get corporations and the state operating in tandem, basically molded into one another. But that isn't that rare. I mean, it's exactly the same thing in Nazi Germany. You look at the concentration camps that operated in Nazi Germany, there were private companies in those camps making use of that slave labor. Fascism often works with corporations, and it's doing the same now. That's the way in which they track what you do. That's the way in which they track who you talk to. They operate as each other's proxies.
Charles is an expert in the dark arts of surveillance who worked to set up democratic media in post-communist states. How did it go so wrong in Britain?
We're looking at all the wrong things.
worth it. Repeat, live alarm. Location sent, need a 1013.
Whoever tripped the alarm, they're gone.
Come out. We know you're there. Get on the ground. Do it.
I've got this.
You. Identify yourself. This party stuff.
That's it. Now, let's take this autocratic wet dream for a test drive.
Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck! Need some elbow.
CTOS AR. Data reconstruction in progress.
Fuck. The future's fucking now, blood.
You're right. We definitely need this extremely cool thing I want for investigating Zero Day. Shit! For some reason I can't clone it to our servers. Alright, access the network here and let's see if we can't find out where to nick one. That's the CTOS up there.
When did this shut off? Something's going on.
Aha! The SIRS has deployed this technology at their HQ, and I've just nabbed their manual on how to set up the system. Now, Scarpa, you can't steal their toy if they throw you in the gulag.
I know you're here somewhere. Suspect hit. Getting behind cover.
This area is being recorded by the GBB. Sierra 4-2, this is Control. An alarm has been activated near you. Survey the area.
Suspect is eating.
Bags, bruv, I want this AR tech. What do I gotta do to get in?
The program is hosted on a server that's on the roof of SIRS HQ. All you have to do is grab the whole thing, then take it to a few high-density locations so I can recalibrate it to the dead set network and clone my own version.
Oh, you mean I'm getting the server off the fucking roof? Yeah, brew idea.
We need to find someone with access to a cargo or construction drone that can fly it off of there. Perfect opportunity to recruit a heavy lifter to the cause, I'd say.
So we want a heavy lifter, innit? What does that mean?
Well, let's put our thinking caps on, shall we? Now, who in London would have access to a construction drone? Could it be a construction worker?
Oh, no fucking shit, Bags.
Not so hard, was it? There's an active construction yard nearby. I dare say you'll probably be able to find a construction worker to recruit there. Here's the coordinates.
Just by screening for cancer, let alone testing for cancer. But that stuff has a half-life of 66 hours. As soon as those rules went up, there was just no time to bring it into the country, and that is when people started dying. And then the medicines. The thing is, there's loads of medicines that you just can't stockpile. There was a moment before it took place when actually there was some effort to try and stockpile some of the medicines. There was some things that could be done. For a lot of it, there was simply nothing that could be done. We had a major problem with drugs for schizophrenia. So we saw such an uptick in the kind of attacks we saw in the street and people suffering on their own because they didn't have the mental health drugs, because those drugs simply couldn't be stockpiled. We eventually found the same thing with foods that weren't produced in the UK. And the trouble with the UK was we don't produce our own food. We never had. For hundreds of years, we produced under half of our own food. So as soon as those rules went up, we started having significant material problems. Like Britain always told itself it had this national myth, right, that it was because it got through the war, that it could go through any kind of hardship. I mean, that wasn't really the case. People during the war were far more frightened than some of this historical stuff makes out. Now, what did we see? People don't want to go through that stuff. They were desperate for the things that they had before, and they were scared. So they went to the black market. The same thing that always happens. And where did the growth of Clan Kelly come from? It came from people wanting the things that they could previously get legitimately and could now only get through the black market, funneling funds towards criminality. And from there, we got to the situation we have now of this bit of war between criminals and security that seems to dominate what's going on out there on the streets.
Nothing shakes people's faith in capitalism quite as much as when capitalism fails to deliver. Here's underground writer and analyst Alfie, The Politics of Poverty.
I think what we've come to now is a realisation that capitalism's essentially failed. I mean, the one key promise of capitalism that it makes to its citizens is that there will be surplus, that we will have plenty, and that's the whole logic for running society in this way, that people will have enough. And now, with these kind of huge shortages of everything, you're seeing that system collapse. It hasn't delivered on its primary promise. And I think we've really reached a situation where we have to do away with capitalism entirely. We're seeing a situation where there's shortages for the many, but for a few individuals, there's an elite who are not struggling and short of anything. So this is kind of fundamental inequality in the capitalist system, which is no longer producing the goods for most of us. Shortages are being used as well. I'm not saying that there isn't a real shortage then. There possibly is real shortages, but shortages are being used as an excuse for those in power, those elites, to keep what they want and not give to the rest of us what we need. So the excuse that there's simply not enough to go around is the justification for maintaining a kind of power of the 1% and leaving the rest of us short.
So if you're starving hungry tonight, if your parents can't get their medicine and your brothers and sisters have to steal to eat, remember, it's all for the good of our people. Or Clan Kelly, or someone, just not us. But that's going to change. You've been listening to Buccaneer with me, Tash. Keep spreading the word and keep sharing the podcast. There's enough of everything out there for all of us. We just need the guts to take it back.
The Bug. Objective voice of objection for a most objectionable world. Hello, Bugsters. Welcome to The Bug, the comedy show that holds up the Medusa of satire to the already immovably concrete face of modern Britain. I'm Andy, I bench 480, and I can crack a tree in half just by looking at it. Can I? Well, what is reality anymore? Anyway. Alice, what do you bench?
I bench body weights.
Right.
Well, not my body weight.
Okay.
Body weight of a baby.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to give that kind of detail. Just
it's very
body
impressive.
weight.
People look at me and go, where did you get that baby?
Yeah. You are listening to The Bug.
In this week's Truth News, according to an official poll, 98% of Londoners are very happy with CPOS. And I am not sure that I agree with that. I don't think 98% of Londoners that ever in the history of London ever agreed on anything. You could not get 98% of Londoners to agree. Oxygen was gained and
I found us a construction worker. They got them big drones, don't they? Aye, check this out. Someone who knows law could help if one of us got locked up in it.
Ironically, running an illegal resistance group would be easier if we had someone to consult for legal advice.
I trust these polls as much as I trust someone recommending a movie that they watched during a breakup. Your judgment is...
How would you feel about mixing things up a bit?
Are you dead sec? Thank the Lord. I could use your help.
We'll see what we can do. What's up?
My brethren ran with this anarchist squad. We was all fuck Albion and about protesting brutality. But we went to a protest that went terribly wrong. Albion rolled in and beat my friend bloody. They got taken away in an ambulance. And they feed us a story saying my friend died, but won't show the body. Not even to the family.
Nah, that's messed up, man.
I need closure. I need to know what happened. If you help me with that, I'll work like a dog to repay you.
Alright, I think I can get a word out on that. Stay sharp, yeah?
I can't believe you're here.
Good things are happening.
Open your eyes.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
I know. Yes.
That's... Oh, that is...
Yeah? No, I entirely understand.
What an odd thing to do.
Your judgment is impaired, Sally. I'll make my own decisions.
I trust those polls as much as I would trust Mary Kelly if she came up to me and said, "Congratulations, Andy, you took on a free holiday to the south of France in the back of this windowless van."
I think official polls are like the unsolicited dick pics that the government provides us. I didn't ask for it, I don't believe it, it's on an angle, you've artificially inflated it ahead of time, and anyone that falls for one deserves all the disappointment of trying to match it to reality. These polls are absolute rubbish, Andy. I read one the other day that said the plumbing in London was good, and it absolutely is not. I mean, we have this technology now where they can spy on my every bowel movement. There's a CTOS camera installed inside my underwear drawer. A media drone is scaring the birds off my garden bird feeder, and you can't get me consistently hot water.
Speaking of media drones, I mean, they're everywhere, clearly. The great thing, I guess, about media drones is that, as inanimate robots, they actually have more humanity, compassion and dignity than the human journalists we used to have to put up with, and a much more accurately calibrated moral compass. But it's the intrusion I can't stand, Alice. I'm in showbiz. Look at me here in this windowless dungeon. I'm in showbiz. And it's terrible for me with all these drones knowing I'm being filmed all the time. Every day I have to make sure I've done my hair and makeup and I'm not wearing clothes I've never worn before. But we all have crosses to bear.
At this point, they've installed so many CTOS cameras, I'm not sure where they'll put the new ones. On top of the old ones, just cameras watching other cameras, like a social media influencer so self-absorbed they don't know how to sleep without turning it into monetized content.
I think that's the logical end of all society, isn't it? Where just everything has just become a camera filming another camera. To be honest, I've just given up on all news and reality now, Alice. I just, in fact, I now just make up my own headlines these days. I get a piece of paper and a pen. Remember them? Paper and pens, those were the days. And I just write down the headlines I want to read out to make my own newspaper. Here I've got today. If you point at the bird in the car window and say the television, no one can tell you otherwise. This is down to it, over there, karaoke night. Right, another headline, here we go. PM announces Britain back on track after swapping all Crown Estate properties for the magic thing. Well, yes, certainly something investigation we are today. There's another one. Royal Joy on the 4th of Britain signs £864 billion trade deal with Bolivia. There we go. From the better world. Government makes only nice people will benefit from doing this. So countries normally reward this to that. That's we're building a better Britain. Here's another one. Environment probably fine when drowning scientists. Invent the world you want to have business. The new railway better than the one you've actually got from above.
Occupation? Check. Drone? Check. This could be the one. Oh, they have a beastly drone friend. I mean, the person looks efficient too.
They look promising.
That is.
Oh, they have a beastly drone friend. I mean, the person looks efficient too.
No, absolutely. Don't even give it a second thought.
Occupation? Check. Drone? Check. This could be the one.
You look hard. You thinking of taking back London?
Wait, are you with DedSec? I just so happen to need some help.
We'll see what we can do. What's up?
I'm in debt with Clan Kelly. They paid for some medical expenses on my behalf, but they keep jacking up the interest rates. I'm basically an indentured servant at this point. Set me free from them, and I will make it worth your while.
Alright, cool. Yeah, man's got this on lock.
Clan Kelly will bleed our new friend dry if we don't do something. This particular construction site is a money laundering front for a Kelly chapter out of Camden Market. Any record of the debt would be stored there.
Yeah, got it.
too.
Fuck this, you're dead! Is this what you wanted?
Where the fuck? Where the fuck did he go?
This fool is testing my patience.
Shit! Gone! Who wants to report it?
Fool fight! Ben! This is on you!
Calm the area. Don't let that prick sneak up on you.
To die on your own, isn't it? You need the support of a friend, or a loved one, or a government, or collapsing social infrastructure. Positive 2, meat. Very bad for the environment. So we're actually rebuilding the polar ice caps every time we eat a scrap of lettuce. 3, positive 3. The human race had already cooked all the recipes it needed. There was nothing more to be done with food. We've done that. We can tick it off. We've done it. I was bored of food anyway. I've been eating it all my life. If you've been doing the same thing 3 times a day, 4, sometimes 7, or even 8 times a day, you're bound to get bored of it. And also, final positive, no more meal times. Frees up all that extra time for appreciating all the selfless hard work that Albion do to keep us all safe here in Britain.
Well, as you say, Andy, people are drawn to novelty, and everyone's had breakfast once. Why you got to keep having it again and again?
Boring, repetitive. There's enough of that in life as it is. You are listening to The Bug. Well, another story that has come to the fore recently is that all European imports have been banned for public health reasons, which is great news. I mean, at least we can get eating good, home-produced, locally sourced, British, industrially unsafe food. That's something we can all cling to. Public health reasons, those are curious words. Alice, I don't know, is that in case the public gets too healthy eating all that Mediterranean muck? Let's have British food for British tummies. Spelt, nettles, rabbit. That's all we need. That's all we need in the glory days. Everyone round to Nigel's for dinner, yum yum.
Who needs Italian olives when you can eat pickled rubber bands and a soup of regret? Who needs nice cheese when you can eat a lukewarm, unspecified rat meat pie with 0 spices?
Sand, nettles, and bits of dead fox. That's all we needed to eat in the glory days. Let's make Britain great again. That's all from The Bug today. Good night, sleep tight, and make sure the bed bugs do bite.
Every year, the same old news. Exam results up, but opportunities down. Well, here at Ixotec, we believe in rewarding hard work. With entry-level positions, apprenticeships, and conversion courses, we can give you the start in life you've been looking for. Because at Ixotec, we don't just build homes, factories, and offices. We build careers.
The Bug, nibbling away on the rotting carcass of a once free Britain.
Yum yum.
Hello, Bugs. This is The Bug. I'm Andy. This is Alice, and today we're going to be pretending that everything is fine. Yeah, and back. Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? That was as long as I could manage. It's a second and a half. A reality time now, however. And, well, finally today, we're going to road test the latest update to the CSAY app, the government app that has brought the great British tradition of snitching on people you don't like back to the very heart of public life, the school playground. I'm going to tell a new threat, It's got a whole new lease of life these days, thanks to CISA, and isn't Britain all the more fun because of it? No more grumbling about your neighbours playing their music too loud, just simply report them to the state and have them, shall we say, involuntarily rehoused at Hotel Cass, the chain of hotels that was formerly known as the prison service. What was the slogan? Is it, if you see something, say something, or if you think you might at some point see something, say something, or if you haven't seen anything but don't like someone, say something anyway.
Fuck, the Kellys got the place shut down. The size of this operation is mad. When did Clan Kelly get so big, bruv?
You're looking for a terminal or some kind of device that Clan Kelly would have stored the debt records on.
Sorry, Andy, I was reporting you to the authorities.
Some of us have places to be, you know.
Could you not let me report you first? If I could report you about it. I'll just take it from the photos and if it's rain, particularly out of the crowd, it won't riot or switch the subject or walk in the woods. And you can input your accusations with the app. Let's go old school. Let's call the phone line. Let's call the phone line. Here's the number. Listen, because you want to drop someone in, as long as it's not me, 0044 203 807 3832. Don't just forget permission to take your bill.
Hey, I'd like to report my co-host Andrew, who runs an underground satirical anti-government comedy show called Running in Total.
Don't have the right tool for the job? You can exchange your gadget for a different one that's better suited to the situation.
That's strange.
If I had a crypto for every time someone reported my broken issues, I'd have 3. So I could convert to about 140,000 of those biggest pounds with the old money.
We'll report back in the next episode about whether or not we've been arrested or returned. I mean, I love this system, Alice. I mean, no more awkward, rumbling resentment with your neighbours, your colleagues, or what the heck, entertaining your family. You just got to be and be done with it. But if it could backfire, I mean, there's any little family, inevitably parents and their children, they end up squabbling and, you know, it's great that your kids are going to job you. So you know they're getting first and going to pass the job done with your authority. So get that number again. Let's call them up again. Hey, I've got someone else. It's my son. Let's call him Norris. He's never started his segment. He gets up late. He listens to illegal non-government banking music, and he's covertly dropping it down to the government. The restoration of the democracy. Thank you.
Yeah, just to define all the household chores as patriotic, and if they fail to do any stop them. You don't really listen up to you even more extreme than you expect.
This is the Bible on the back of the world. Well, let's all go. Look, girls is what we most miss about the old days. I don't know the flag. I don't know if it's girls in the gas, but somehow our new flag managed to be even more irritating than that. I don't quite know if it's the new Palestine or if it's just that it symbolises the lot of everything we have held dear. But that flag irritates the hell out of me.
With everything you ever held dear,
That was something I held quite.
I'm not being able to dodge my friend's destination wedding in Italy. There's nothing worse than being asked to send your children with a motorbike on some sort of boat they've sparkling for rental. And I was recently my employees saying, oh no, I can't afford it. Now they're all getting married in Brighton and I have to go to that adventure to see. Made of rocks, Andy. Your sandcastle is an actual castle. That's not a thing.
I'm a free will, that was fun, remember that? And a word that will leave me with the time picture. I'm a cat. This is fun. I want to look fun. The fun of doing a headless carriage, special fire, to do the activation of doing it, and special stuffing, and special fire, now it's just all the robots are gone.
I miss romance, Andy. I miss there being mystery in life and not just a hope that your new partner isn't good enough at hacking to find out all the information the government has on you.
Right now, sometimes, keep treating you to a little bit, and one day, it will grow into a power of the first work. But we used to pass down with it. Never told you. Nibbling away on a rocking truck, a civil one for 3 weeks. Hello, resistors. This is the bug, and on today's show, Alex and I will be looking at the big questions, such as, are we less than 2 years away from being able to turn a sausage back into a large pig? Should we actually move polar bears anyway? What can we really do? If I put octopus on my dog, can I train it to take itself for a walk and see my coffee on the way home? And is tennis real? But first, actually, I'm going to get back to it. No one's really addressed it. London is the new state of the nation. Alex, serves as installing thousands of additional CCTV cameras. So much there. Full of them.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun into my life now. I get to play this role-play game where I pretend to know my loved ones better than some scrap behind the screen in the serve a picture.
I mean, I guess there's something wrong. I mean, Joe's really stepping into the vacancy left and right capable of it. Joe's is retired. He's got similarity, omnipresent, omniscient, judgmental, stripping away your financial freedom, dishing out random functions, thinking of pop. All it needs to do is stand into the meeting. We're going to do this job, not taking it on quick.
You're standing too close.
Stand for it. I can take you back and forth.
It's so important knowing what I'm doing, what should everything I do.
Well, it's not really good, is it? It's just like having an extra time.
Usually are the restaurants at Christmas and Bonnet Kitty Talk, right?
Yeah, bang on. This is the buzz on the back of the word. Let's move on now to sport. Well, the first thing we have to sport now is Riot. I mean, Riot's like my favourite sport now. Alex, ever since they turned me over on the cricket ground in the Golden Festival. And yeah, Riot is just a great sport. I mean, it's fun for all the family. It's guaranteed action. It's cleanly regarded. I mean, I know the underdogs never win.
Why don't you take a breath? Think of puppies or something.
No, never mind. We didn't trust by Missing or the Vegas. Still good at lots of positive and take away. I'll come back from the next show. I'll have to get a bit of a freedom. Start breathing.
You can't spell riot without right, and by right I mean right.
So, who do we turn to help support it? Special contract means, well, artificial intelligence and Bagley's Rose Britain's brother. The one that tells us as it really is, and that is that the presenting news. Exclusive to the show, Bagley. And remember, nice work with Bagley. Here goes. Bagley, help me. Bagley, tell me the part. Please ask me nothing. The part Bagley gives you the quality. Still didn't do it for half an hour. And then what is it? Back to Bagley. You know the answer to everything.
Hey, Buzzer, how many seashells does seashell by the seashore? Alex, most of the seashell is now coming home, so I was only looking at you think they got to be there.
Do you have a brain injury? Did your face catch the worst?
Bagley, how can I specialize that in this field by Sam Keller with conversation with Doc that takes it back, sitting in the bench and making it through a point of the burn or think about sleep or get out of bed? And you know well, why not Bagley? They terrify me from my very door. The problem is that still all this stuff to do with it. That's how success with Bagley.
Hey, Buzzer, how do you put a secret hideout in your basement without alerting your mouth children when they're talking about it? Here's one straight, Alex, so I will take you to the okay.
Bagley, what things ever get better?
Yeah.
The root of the universe is on this side story of the other way. That's going to look forward to. That's all for the rest today. She's a real bugger. And you have a terrible job.
Welcome back to the upload. Today we're talking about cryptocurrency. Crypto might be what's going on forever, but it's really quite a new invention. Do you really have any guesses?
I would call it that it's been this massive. There seems to be a new way of financial transactions, a new way of money, something that we could completely reinvent and change some of the legacy financial systems around the world and really give power back to the people.
Yeah, we're doing real stuff in the way of the world. And let's do that with Facebook. So Facebook cryptocurrency is
While the drones observing your every move might make you feel like you're living in a city-shaped prison, what's bad news for society is good news for DedSec. You can hack those nosy little buggers and use them to scout ahead. Building a resistance group requires operatives with specialized skills. Technical abilities, firearms handling, and physical training are all valuable. Bare-knuckled boxing rings are a good place to find people who are good at throwing punches, or taking them. By defeating each opponent in an arena, you'll have an opportunity to face its best fighter. Prove your physical superiority, and they may consider joining DedSec. I'm guessing that's some sort of primate society thing.
Oh god. Oh god.
right. You're all right.
Bloody mad stick around here.
Oh. Bloody hurts. Oh, my hip.
You don't like must be small, thick, and confusing. Really, honestly, what is it like to be so unbearably stupid all the time?
I'm surprised that you can even look at yourself in the bloody mirror. You're so perfect.
Oh, Jesus.
What is wrong with something?
The safety of the public is our
You lost your mind.
priority.
Take that.
This is a friendly reminder. Zero flights remaining. This is
This, I ain't allowing your shit. If it's a clash you're after, you get one. Whoa, this will be a piece of pig.
This to you.
You're the very reason we need laws restricting people with low IQ.
Investigation.
Yeah, what are you saying? I know, she's in the kitchen on the right. Yes, I did. It's in the kitchen on the... Let me finish. In the kitchen.
Yes, my son.
Agent's orders is a crime.
Could you know, back off a little?
Remind me. Any violence against our
yeah?
Any disorderly conduct will be investigated and penalized if necessary. Awaiting area crime report. Awaiting area crime report. All persons must comply with requests to surrender belongings for search at any time. They introduce awaiting area crime report. It is a crime to harbour unauthorized aid to illegals. Awaiting area crime report. Updating facial recognition software. Please keep your hands and arms inside your vehicle at all times. All criminal offenders will be arrested. Reminder, your number plate must be visible and clean at all times.
Wish you never crossed me. Don't fucking run away from me.
You can't treat people that way.
I'll fucking teach you to respect me.
That kind of violence is just becoming normal.
You can't do this. Stop. Just had to run your mouth, didn't you? Of course.
Oh, God.
Stay down. That's an order. Time for this. Please. Help.
Oh, God.
Help. Dirty maggot.
Fuckface!
Me as well, mate.
Let me out.
I know.
What a load of shit. You lads have lost.
Albion's got free run. It's disgusting.
Help me.
That sort of violence makes me sick.
Stand back, do not interfere. Help!
What a world. What's a world?
Leave right now.
should be ashamed of themselves.
Please have all identification papers ready.
What was the first thing that happened when Britain sealed itself off? The first stuff that got stopped from coming in was fresh food. I mean, we could live without the fresh food. I mean, everyone's quality of life got instantly worse, but we could live without it. The most damaging part was when the radioactive isotopes stopped. Now, radioactive isotopes, that's what we use for cancer screening, cancer treatment. Now, that stuff, it has a short half-life. Technetium used to save hundreds of thousands of lives just by screening for cancer, let alone testing for cancer. But that stuff has a half-life of 66 hours. As soon as those walls went up, there was just no time to bring it into the country, and that is when people started dying. And then the medicines. The thing is, there's loads of medicines that you just can't stockpile. There was a moment before it took place when actually there was some effort to try and stockpile some of the medicines. There was some things that could be done. For a lot of it, there was simply nothing that could be done. We had a major problem with drugs for schizophrenia. So we saw such an uptick in the kind of attacks that you saw in the street and people suffering on their own because they didn't have the mental health drugs, because those drugs simply couldn't be stockpiled. We eventually found the same thing with foods that weren't produced in the UK. And the trouble with the UK was we don't produce our own food. We never have. For hundreds of years, we produced under half of our own food. So as soon as those walls went up, we started having significant material problems in the country. I mean, Britain always told itself it had this national myth, right, that it would, because it got through the war, that it could go through any kind of hardship. I mean, that wasn't really the case. People during the war were far more frightened than some of this historical stuff makes out. Now, what did we see? People don't want to go through that stuff. They were desperate for the things that they had before, and they were scared. So they went to the black market. The same thing that always happens. And where did the growth of Clan Kelly come from? It came from people wanting the things that they could previously get legitimately and could now only get through the black market, funneling funds towards criminality. From there, we got to the situation we have now of this busy war between criminals and security that seems to dominate what's going on out there on the streets.
Nothing shakes people's faith in capitalism quite as much as when capitalism fails to deliver. Here's underground writer and analyst Alfie, The Politics of Poverty.
I think what we've come to now is a realisation that capitalism's essentially failed. I mean, it's the one key promise of capitalism that it makes to its citizens is that there will be surplus, that we will have plenty, and that's the whole logic for running society in this way, that people will have enough. And now, with these kind of huge shortages of everything, you're seeing that system collapse. It hasn't delivered on its primary promise. And I think we've really reached a situation where we have to do away with capitalism entirely. We're seeing a situation where there's shortages for the many, but for a few individuals, there's an elite who are not struggling and short of anything. So there's a kind of fundamental inequality of a capitalist system which is no longer producing the goods for most of us. Shortages are being used as well. I'm not saying that there isn't a real shortage. There possibly is real shortages, but shortages are being used as an excuse for those in power, those elites, to keep what they want and not give to the rest of us what we need. So the excuse that there's simply not enough to go around is the justification for maintaining a kind of power of the 1% and leaving the rest of us short.
So if you're starving hungry tonight, if your parents can't get their medicine and your brothers and sisters have to steal to eat, remember, it's all for the good of ideas. Or culture, or someone, just not us. But that's going to change. You've been listening to Buccaneer with me, Tash. Keep spreading the word and keep sharing the podcast. There's enough of everything out there for all of us. We just need to start focusing.
Yo, this one's a pro street artist. And that's badass, you know. Must have some wavy tags.
Alice, what do you bench?
I bench body weights.
Right.
Well, not my body weight.
Okay.
Body weight of a baby.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to give that kind of detail. Just
It's very
body weight.
impressive. People look at me and go, where did you get that baby?
You are listening to The Bug.
In this week's Truth News, according to an official poll, 98% of Londoners are very happy with CTOS. And I am not sure that I agree with this, Andy. I don't think.
who bought shares in Bloom before its tentacles grew into every crevice of the country. I mean, this is not just any old poll, we should say that. This is not any poll. This is an official poll, right from the very heart of government. It's not a knock-off fake poll of an elderly couple and their mangy old dog sitting on a bench waiting to die. This is an official poll. So let's just put those words, official poll, through an online translator in case you didn't study languages. Let's find out what it actually means. Made up lie. There we go. Glad to clear that up. I don't, I think it's fair to say, entirely trust these official polls. They feed us, Alice. I mean, they could publish an official poll saying that over 99.9% of children like ice cream, and I would instantly assume that all children now have all ice cream. Out of 10 cats prefer cat food to being whacked with a tennis racket, and I would assume that all cats have gone vegan and are queuing up outside Wimbledon meowing, choose me, choose me.
I trust these polls as much as I trust someone recommending a movie that they watched during a breakup. Your judgment is impaired, Sally. I'll make my own decision.
I trust those polls.
Don't have the right tool for the job? You can exchange your gadget for a different one that's better suited to the situation.
You need a lot.
Selfish idiot.
It's in the kitchen on the right-hand side when you walk in. Yes, no, I did do that. Yeah, I left her at home. No, she's in the kitchen on the right. Yes, I did. It's in the kitchen on the... Well, if you let me finish... Right. Yes, it's in the kitchen on the right-hand side when you walk in.
That's... You're not listening to me. Come on. Right. No. Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, but... Sure. Okay. That's great. Absolutely. If you can, yeah, sure. That word.
Notice, non-essential travel is not recommended. Warning, non-essential travel is not recommended. Proceed at your own risk.
I know, but why?
Albion security services are on high alert. Do not assemble in large groups.
Step back. promoting disorder are a threat to London's security. You have been warned.
Long for startups to see an opportunity in this new way of doing finance. A lot of traditional money was converted to crypto, and it really shook up the financial sector.
Can you remember when they first introduced crypto cash points?
That was really sneaky. It was a classic startup behaviour. They just installed them everywhere. No consultation with the government, no approval or anything. But people immediately started to use them.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of how Bloom put out the Optic. They just made it free and flooded the streets with these devices. Suddenly, everyone had them.
If there's this great option of tech, people are just going to start using it, no matter the cost.
Parliament actually tried to put a stop to the cash points, but people were using them so much already. There was outrage. I mean, some parts of London were already using crypto as their primary currency by then.
And now, apparently, or at least in theory, crypto is illegal.
Yeah, in May this year, economists found that crypto was being traded more than the pound, and banks were not happy. They basically forced the government to ban cryptocurrency in a last-ditch effort to save the pound.
But it's not like that's worked. People are still using crypto, and it's been pushed further, deeper underground. Things used to work fine with crypto. It was just a peer-to-peer sharing economy-style system. Now it's all on the dark web and wrapped up again in organised crime.
Yeah, if you want to make something thrive on the black market, just make it illegal.
GBB drones. In the air and on location.
You can see the tailbacks here.
Because when you want the news,
the drones were able to follow the gunman.
Our drones have the news.
Viewers may find some of these images disturbing.
GBB drones. In the air and on the air, 24 hours a day. GBB. Know the news.
The Bug, nibbling away on the rotting carcass of a once free Britain.
Yum, yum.
Hello, Resistance fans. You're listening to the Bug Podcast, the objective voice of objection for this most objectionable world. I am Andy, not my real name, so good luck finding me, Monsieur Bloom. My real name is, in fact, Andrew, and I live in, note this down, a deluded pseudo-reality of my own making, which is, in fact, the most densely populated place on Earth these days. Overcrowded, some might say. Joining me, as always, my next-door neighbour in these Netherlands of nonsense. It's Alice.
Yes, indeed, it is Alice. Alice, who the bleep is Alice? I am not going to tell you that, but you can just sort of sense it from the timbre of my voice.
Let's spin the wheel and find out where we're getting today's news from. Here, it's coming from here. I must get a new wheel with at least one other place on it. And the headline today, Alice, our borders are safe. We can all sleep easy in our well-bordered beds. 4,000 illegals were deported last month. These illegal people breaking the law just by existing. And, of course, illegality is contagious. It can osmose through your skin but just by standing next to an illegal person. So we've got rid of 4,000 of them. My question for you, Alice, is why only 4,000? Is that really enough? I will not feel safe until at least another 75 million people have been deported from this country, and I'm here in Britain on my own.
As a bleeding heart lefty, Andy, I would normally be outraged about this, but really I think mass deportation is a very handy way to break up with a partner. I'm sorry, baby, I love you, but an anonymous source has reported you for snoring really loudly in a French way.
So, everyone out. No exceptions, Alice, not even you. It's for the good of the country. Everyone out. Unless you can prove that your family are in the background on the Bayeux Tapestry cheering on King Harold at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Get out! Actually, that's not British enough. Unless you can show, unarguably, that your direct bloodline is untainted by anything since before the Romans. Actually, scratch that. Unless your direct ancestor was personally responsible for building Stonehenge, get out of my country. I guess when you look at it, you know, the best ways to stop immigration, apart from, obviously, the end of the world, to make the place you want to stop people coming to as unpleasant as possible. So,
well, we absolutely are doing that, Andy.
Well, you know, fair play to the government for helping us with that. Another option: extend the White Cliffs of Dover. They've been resting on their laurels for too long. Very inefficient, it turns out, as a means of stopping immigration. We need to extend them by about another 11,000 miles, a full wrap around Great Britain, and they could do with being about 1.5 kilometres higher as well, with a special greasy coating to stop people clambering over the top or however they get in. Here's a quick joke for you, Alice, about immigration. Did you hear the one about the woman who went into the immigration processing centre and was ever seen again?
No, Andy, I didn't hear that one.
Boom. Set up, punchline. Classic. For those of you unfamiliar with it, the Immigration Processing Centre is, of course, where so many of our guests to Britain go for a longer than desirable game of involuntary hide and seek. You are listening to The Bug. I will conclude by saying, out of all the things wrong with Britain today, I think immigration is right up there, Alice. When you think of all the health professionals we've stolen from overseas over the years here in Britain, it's quite possible that all these people are just coming here to try to get an appointment with their local doctor.
Yes, Andy, certainly as someone who came from the expanded arm of the empire when Britain was still reaching out rather than folding in on itself, most of us just come here to visit our stuff in the museums.
It's the British way.
Speaking of international movement, Britain has recalled all European ambassadors after a spy scandal. I think this is probably a good thing, because British foreign politicians are always putting their foot in their mouths. How much worse can they do if they're not there? I mean, by definition, the fact that there's a spy scandal means that they were terrible spies. The point of spies is that there's never a spy scandal.
Yeah, but let's give credit to all the spies that haven't been in scandals and therefore might as well not exist.
Well, they've arrested those German spies in that SIRS crackdown on the illegals in Hackney, and I think that's a sad thing. I think I used to think of Germans as quite scary, but that was because I'd been watching World War II movies where the Germans all have English accents. They speak in that very, precise way. It's very, we have ways of making you talk. And now Germans all have that American accent where it's all like, oh, welcome to the party. We're having a really nice time. They're much friendlier Germans. Let them stay.
Well, that's all today, Bugsters. Remember, it's not as bad as it seems. Honestly. I hope. Until next time, bye-bye.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Upload. We're talking about the optic and how it's changed our lives. Now, as you remember, Bloom announced a new version of the optic at the recent Tone conference, but we haven't heard too much about that since due to the dramatic events there. Let's cast our minds back and consider the technology. I mean, the optic changed everything. It lets you see things in AR. You no longer need a smartphone. You just have the small implant that sends signals to your optic nerve and lets you see your emails, take calls, and browse the internet directly as if the screen was in front of your eyes. Instead of having to carry around a phone, you've just got the small handheld unit. So much lighter and so much more convenient. It's great.
Vicky, you sound like you absolutely love the optic. Do you actually think that it's made our lives any better?
I mean, sure, it's definitely made things a lot easier. It's so simple to call someone now. All you have to do is choose who you want to chat to, and they're there, ready to talk. And browsing the web is so much easier. I remember when you used to have to sit down at a computer with an actual keyboard and mouse and type everything out. And my favourite feature is public transport. With the optic, you can just walk straight onto the tube. It even acts as a passport. No longer do I have to dig around and try and find my old paper passport just to travel somewhere. Also, I thought that Optic's marketing strategy, making it free for people, was a stroke of genius.
Genius. Bloom was really calculated when it was doing that. It was pushing this draconian device on us at all. Sure, everybody flocked to it. There was free Wi-Fi and phone plans. That definitely helped, but it wasn't a case of this is a product that you need in your life.
Why do you hate it so much?
It's just the worst because you had to give up your privacy expectations and accept surveillance. It was almost like the government and Bloom didn't even need to make the optic mandatory. Making it mandatory was only to get the last holdouts across the line. If free data didn't convince you, fines and arrests from the state for not having the optic would pretty much be enough.
I mean, what do you mean by privacy problems? No one really talks about that anymore.
They don't talk about it because we don't have any choice when it comes to the optic. Yes, it's convenient and mandatory, but everybody's forgotten what it really means. Here, you've got a whole company owning basically all the data about your life. Bloom can see everything that you can see. Nothing is private anymore. There are so many times when I don't want anyone to have a clue about where I am, who I'm chatting with, what I'm doing. It's not even dodgy stuff, but I just don't want anybody to blackmail me with this in the future by hacking it. And because of Bloom's contracts with the government, it isn't just Bloom that can see everything I do, it's the government. The UK as a state has become a complete surveillance paradise.
I think you're painting a bit of a bleak picture. It's not all that bad.
No, you're completely wrong on this. I don't want everybody tracking me wherever I'm going around London.
Well, in that case, you might be interested in some rumours I heard. Did you hear that some DedSec hackers have found a way to bypass the optics connection with Bloom?
Are they actually making it better or usable or actually friendly for anybody?
Well, word on the street is that they've been able to create an encrypted signal, which means that your world might have a chance of becoming a bit more private again, so you could go back and enjoy all the great things about optic without that fear of surveillance.
With the optic, privacy's dead.
Last year, this MP was exposed as corrupt and resigned from office. Fast forward a few months and he's back in politics, this time as a lobbyist, advancing the
Welcome back to The Upload. In this episode, we're talking about CTOS 3.0, the city operating system that's now powering all of London. For those of you who need reminding, as if anyone does at this point, CTOS was first used in Chicago in 2014 and then San Francisco in 2017 before coming here to London. And every time it's been rolled out, it's been pretty much an disaster.
For those of you who are listening who are lucky enough not to be here in London's chaotic scenes, it's worth remembering that the telecom tower is now owned by Bloom. The tower looms over northwest London. It's always been a communications hub, acting as part of the UK's television and communications network, although there's been some secrecy around its use, and now that Bloom owns it, it's only even more secret.
Yeah, now everything that's part of Bloom's city surveillance is run through the telecoms tower. And I have to say, it looks completely ridiculous. It's got that silly crown thing at the top and all the blue light.
What's that even about? What does it do? I don't see that there's any purpose to that at all.
It's a blight on the skyline, if you ask me.
And don't forget about the self-driving cars too.
I always thought they were just running on their own.
No, CTOS is the big control system behind the cars. There was a point back in the earliest days of self-driving car technology that they operated by themselves. They used to use a series of sensors to see the world around them. Radar, for instance, would look far off into the distance, while LiDAR would detect objects nearby. And while these cars still use some of this technology, Bloom CTOS and its detailed maps and data that it has on London really makes Bloom be able to take control of it, and CTOS can take control of your car if you're parked incorrectly. It's no surprise that it was made mandatory to have a self-driving car.
The system is so bad, though. It's so annoying. Whenever I try to use one of the shareable self-driving cars, I always find myself stuck in traffic jams or roadblocks. Not to mention the accidents. I've heard so many stories of cars shunting into the back of others. I think they're worse than human drivers sometimes.
The technology was meant to make things better, but Bloom has made it so bad that it just makes London even more chaotic than it was before. I'm giving up on the cars. I'm only using the bikes, which are not self-driving at the moment, at least. And don't even get me started on the data. Everything that Bloom sees from your movements around the city and the self-driving cars is collected and feeds back into its big information control system.
Oh, not
Listen, mate, you want to have your face broken?
Don't have the right tool for the job? You can exchange your gadget for a different one that's better suited to the situation. While the drones observing your every move might make you feel like you're living in a city-shaped prison, what's bad news for society is good news for DedSec. You can hack those nosy little buggers and use them to scout ahead.
End this quickly, alright? Don't let him escape.
Right, you're going to raise all record of their debt, putting our new friend back into the black, and more importantly, out of Clan Kelly's reach.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I need assistance!
Holy shit, this is fucked! Get in our sight! Coming for you. That dickhead's definitely...
Cannabis and fentanyl together at last through the miracle of genetics.
Ah, for real? Yeah, I can't even be mad at that.